from the sign, core group sign committee to be moved up and address us first. So Tom, awesome. And you can leave it on the table on your way up.
You good to
We
go?
take pride to buy
Yeah.
that for
We
town.
take pride.
That's right, it's actually 18.
Good.
Just got $6.
Amazing what $20 will get you these days.
Only in Waterville Valley, that should be the sign.
Oh,
That's
amazing what $20
Yeah.
All right, so we had, I'm representing the core committee. We had 3 designs, which you have seen during our last meeting 2 weeks ago. We held a public display over the Memorial Day weekend. Mark was there for 9 hours. I did a couple and a half hours on Sunday. We had comments. Most of them agreed with the one that we decided to go with today, to recommend rather. So the sign that we recommend is one which was D2, option D2. Okay, you know that with the stone tower, everybody seems to like the hanging part of it, the mountain over the top. These icons, a lot of people said, well, I don't think they should all be golf. Well, this was just a display, and so we had to tell them that there will be other venues represented, not just golf.
Right.
So anyway, this is the one that probably 80% of the people liked and made comments over the weekend, and this is the one that we chose to present to the selectmen for their recommend for us to go forward. So I'll leave these with you up here. And maybe we can hang on to all of them, or we can auction them off maybe.
Actually, 2 people offered me money for those renderings.
Yeah, we're gonna auction them off at like the
Like,
race center. Okay, the race center.
We can use it as a fundraiser for the rec department.
All right. One other comment, for a vacation or a lifetime, everybody seems to like that. We had a discussion this morning that possibly to kind of reinforce that, that become the slogan for the town on all their material. And so when people see it, because people might come by and drive by and think it's for a vacation of a lifetime. If it's for a vacation of a lifetime or a lifetime, that kind of reinforces it throughout the year. And getting people said that that's what we're trying to accomplish here in Waterville with both vacationers, and that this is an awesome place to live and spend your life here. So that's the recommendation of the core committee right there.
Any questions?
Well, there was one comment that I thought was particularly good, and that was finding a way to put the corporation date of the town somewhere on there.
You know, we discussed that,
Mhm.
and we kind of came to the conclusion that just about every town is old. So,
Ours is not the oldest.
and we aren't the oldest, you know. I think if you're in the 16 or 1700s, kind of let it go. I mean, we're 1829, but, you know, everybody has comments. And so it's up to you,
Okay.
I guess.
Well, I
it's
think
like,
you know, once we get the basics of this, I think there might be some fine tuning left. I don't know if there is or not.
yeah, well, you know, we spent an awful lot of time on it. We've been on the phone with Sparky Potter from Wood and Wood. And, you know, I think, have been on a lot of committees and in a lot of meetings. And
Do you have a rough idea of cost of this? What the actual sign is gonna cost?
$50,000
Is the budget.
is the
And
budget.
he said he can do it within the budget.
You told him it was 35, could he do it?
No.
No, that's a good question.
Well, our budget originally was,
No, that
That
includes-
includes,
It's 50.
well, it was originally 75,
Right.
and we told him 50.
Okay,
So we're playing your game a little bit.
all right. I just hate to tell someone how much money you got to spend.
And we've decided essentially to incorporate the resort's emblem as the town's emblem.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah.
It just dawned on me. People will see the sign leaving. What's gonna be on the back of the sign?
We think that the way it's
It's
tilted,
gonna be angled.
It's
a
gonna
little
be
bit
angled.
towards the road.
Yeah.
But
Come
Sparky
back.
has recommended that we just paint it black or green.
Okay,
So he'll work on those colors. He did say that he wanted to think about that a little bit more, but
right?
he's leaning towards
All right.
probably the green.
and if it becomes highly visible, we can have something painted on the side.
Yeah, and if, as we get out there, if we think it is too visible, we can put "Thank you for visiting" or
That's
similar
$20
signs to what the Forest Service does. So.
I don't know if
Come back
they're
soon.
Yeah.
virtual reality. I mean, looking at this.
Yeah, but you never know until it's there.
Yeah,
No, yeah.
And it won't be up on a mound like that. The area will be flat out towards the wood line. It won't be on a hill.
All right, great, well, good work.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Oh,
this.
I'm just a spokesman, you know, we had a great committee. So let us know so we can start moving.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
other,
Yep.
plays are back there.
Thank you.
Thank me to move to the head of the line.
Anybody else for
Thanks.
privilege of the floor? Number one. All right, we will look to approve the minutes. Did anyone have enough time to this, or should we table these minutes till next meeting?
I think I just read over the sections that were missing from the last one, and I didn't have a problem.
Okay,
Okay, if Margaret's happy with it.
Okay.
I'm happy with it.
then I will move to accept the minutes as presented.
I have just a couple quick changes.
Oh,
Sorry,
I thought you said you were ready.
I mean, I was gonna
All right.
say for the ones that hadn't been reviewed.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same lines now with the addition, I suspect not. But it's the,
Yeah, 47.
yeah. It used to be, well, I was looking at 47, but that was the old 47, not the 47 I have.
Identify
in front
well
of me.
number 4 will be water, will be treated, so
Yeah, that doesn't work either.
Yeah. get the be water out of there.
Let me go to the
Mhm.
older version. So this is the 47 in public safety, and it's the very last, some manure submitted at the near, sorry.
Now, let's finish with let's go with the new 47, which deals with the well.
Right,
Mhm.
So we get rid of that double.
right,
And you had something in public safety?
yes.
And I had a question on 58 in public safety. A little bit. Chris will update the board when the repairs and their amounts are confirmed. Just didn't run right to me.
Repairs and their cost.
Cost.
And the cost.
Of the repairs.
Yeah, there's amounts.
And
just
cost
not-
thereof.
All 47 was, I'm sorry, it's just above it, it's, trying to coordinate. What will be water? There's an extra, this is superfluous, it's a superfluous word, that's all. It's not important.
All right.
I find it, I read it.
All right.
Yeah, if you find it, just let me know, Rich.
And I have line 82,
Mhm.
the old line 82, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That would be the section wastewater treatment plant improvement. I think you mean another weak link in the system, or did you mean weak leak in the system?
I got it. That's
Link.
it.
Link.
Link,
It's on 119 now, Chair.
Okay. Got it.
All right.
Thank you.
very good, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, it's line. Service presently,
Oh, currently and presently.
yeah, just pick one of the
Yep.
other.
We'll remove presently. Yep.
Good, all right,
All right. I will make the motion to approve the minutes as amended. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We can move on to the financial report.
Department. We only have two that are up where we are percentage wise, and that is wastewater. Is slightly ahead of budget. We did pull, so that's why we're overexpended there, and then general overhead as the continuing overage.
Okay.
Any questions?
Questions on taxes, people who prepay taxes, has that issue gone away, or is that first half of the season?
It just showed up as credits on the first half tax bill, so.
Oh, no, I've got you on that, but the people, remember we had to deal with people who were concerned with the changes of the tax laws?
Right.
Who prepaid their taxes for the
Yes.
coming year,
Mhm.
and with some of the payments we couldn't take. Because
Well, we stopped taking them
Okay.
after, I forget what the date was, but
think-
it was after January something.
It
We
It was
or maybe
December
February.
31st, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but we took some prepayments. We didn't take any prepayments after December 31st. So there were people that had prepaid that we had returned checks to. But there was not that
So the-
amount, which was about $221,000,
Mm.
all came across as credits in the first half tax bill. And so now everybody is caught up and they'll get the rest of their tax bill in October like anybody else.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, great. All right, we'll move on to review. Now, we want to talk about how many meetings we want to have this summer. Is that,
Yeah, I didn't want to leave that for too long.
now traditionally, Rich, what we've done is in the summer, instead of every other week, we just have
One meeting, the
One.
third week,
of the
the
month.
third week of the month.
Margaret, how do you feel about that? Are you
Yeah,
traveling?
I'm fine with that. Well, I am traveling for the next one, for the
Okay,
next meeting.
so then
So
our
there
next,
would be a meeting on the 18th of July.
after
and-
the June 13th?
No,
After.
June 13th and then June 27th.
So, okay,
then
so
we
we're
would
just
have-
doing July and August.
That's right, 3rd July and August.
So our next one is the 27th. of
June
June.
27th,
After the 13th.
13th and the 27th,
Right.
and then July 18th
I'm good on the 18th.
and August
Be
22nd.
the
22nd. Is that the third
That's
Wednesday?
15th is the
15th
third.
is actually,
15th.
because, yeah, the
Yeah,
first is
and then
actually
August 15th, and
August
those will
15th.
be your two meetings in the summer,
Okay,
okay?
right. I'm sorry, did you say, Margaret, that you will not be here on the
I will not
27th
be
of
here
June?
on the 13th.
Oh, on the 13th, okay.
Okay. Before we get to department head dates,
So for 7 minutes, yeah, for the Forest Service.
yeah, our friend from the Forest Service, does that have any reference to our department?
No, not really. I mean, we can take input from the department.
Let's bring them up anyways.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome, could you please all state your name just so it goes on the record, so.
Yeah, you bet. So my name is Brooke Brown. I'm the district ranger for the Pemigewasset Ranger District. I've been there for about 1.5 years now.
And I'm Tom Giles, the Assistant District Ranger for Recreation and Wilderness in the County District.
And I'm Katie White. I usually work in forestry on the Pemigewasset District, but right now I'm helping the planning team.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Rich, Mike, and Margaret.
Great, nice to meet you guys. So really, I just wanted to come by and working on right now called the Winosha Integrated Resource Project. And it's a project that encompasses several towns, Waterville being one. If you want to, pass that around. These are some project maps. Just they're preliminary. We're still, we've already Yes,
Yeah.
thank you for that. And so what we have done since then is we've gone through all the public comments that we've received. and have been digesting that. And then we're looking forward to our next phase of actually sitting down and writing the environmental assessment for the project based off our analysis and the comments that we received. So I wanted to come here and basically just give you guys a kind of a really high view of some of the public comments we got and just kind of talk about any thoughts that you guys might have on the project. Some of them related to recreation. Tom will go a little more in depth on that. So if you guys are good with that, I can just go right into kind of the really high level, some of the comments we've got. So generally, there was a theme on some comments of people being concerned about historic properties and any potential impacts that might happen to those, such as rock walls, those types of things. And so that's something that we do heritage surveys looking for those types of resources. But that was a comment that we got that we certainly want to make sure that we're taking in historic properties and protecting those. There is also concerns related to forestry activities on wildlife habitat, deer plots, scenery, visual resources, and safety and quality of life for local residents. So that's in an area in the town of Thornton, where we are proposing some of our forestry activities. There are also concerns related to water quality and how some of the projects that we're proposing might impact those, such as forestry, some of the campground redesigns that we're looking at doing, which Tom will get into here in just a moment. And then there's also an overall concern of just increased visitors with some of the improvement doing and some of those activities of maybe changing how area or more litter, gray water issues with more campers, those types of things. So what I wanted to specifically highlight for you guys, though, is what you're more probably interested in that's going to be part of the Waterville Valley, and that would be like Waterville Valley campground upgrade, as well as a proposed Smartsbrook mountain bike area that we'd be looking at potentially designating as an official mountain bike area. So, and then Tom, if you
Is
want to
that the
talk.
existing trail, Smartsbrook, the walk trail would be a bike, a mountain biking trail? Or is it a
I'm
Waterville
sorry, what
Road?
was-
The Smartsbrook walking trail that exists now,
Yeah.
would that be designated the mountain biking trail, or is there going to be an additional trail put in?
So some of those trails right now, we haven't settled on the design, but some of those trails would conceivably be multi-use, which effectively they are now.
Yeah.
But there's other trails that you're walking on that have been developed in that network that now are just used by mountain bikers, pretty much. The occasional walker goes through there, but it's more about those trails that we're considering. The primary trails that everyone tends to hike through there is that loop is recognized as a multi-use, and that's one of the big feedback, concerns that we've received in terms of preserving that opportunity.
Yeah,
So
that
we
would,
do want to do that.
yeah, that was something we heard loud and clear, was those that like to go out there and hike and walk their dogs, they don't want to be competing with the bike.
Yeah.
So that's something that we definitely, like Tom said, want to consider, is having that experience for the hikers and the dog walkers, but then still having some of those multiple use trails or just mountain bike. But it's something we want to definitely consider.
So I can start with Waterville Campground, right across the street here. So we do actually plan on upgrading that campground significantly. For us, on the forest, we have 22 campgrounds. There's a heavily weighted towards a more primitive experience without amenities. You can't go to any of our campgrounds right now across the forest and have hookups, water and electric. So this campground was actually targeted partially due to its proximity to the town and all the amenities that the town has to be a candidate for upgrade. And we've recognized that for quite some time. It finally got its light of day here in this project. So we are proposing to upgrade that campground to have all 25 sites have electric and water hookups, as well as redesigning the physical layout in there to accommodate larger RVs and make them all RV capable. Right now, about 17 sites are designated as RV capable. Commensurate with that upgrade to the sites, we'd also propose to upgrade by replacing the existing toilet buildings and the shower building with concrete toilets and flushable toilets. Concrete buildings, basically. It's a new style that is out there, much more durable, and can last a lot longer. So In a nutshell, that's it. We'd probably be bringing electric in from the grid. It's got close proximity to the grid over there. And the water would be most likely tapping wells, drill some wells to support that.
Have you considered connecting to our water system?
We haven't, but we are open to suggestions, if that makes sense. And
Because
you
we have water service. I don't know if the pipe is big enough, but we have water service across the street.
Yeah.
And we should do a cost comparison between drilling the wells and
Okay.
running a water line, because it's not a year-round service, so we might be able to get away with a little less digging, because it doesn't have to be as far down, because you're not going to use it in the winter. So there may be some.
Us finding wells around here is not.
Yeah,
It's been a
we've
challenge.
drilled 100, more than 100 wells and only found 4 that worked, so.
Well, that's a great opportunity. Thanks
Yeah.
for bringing that up. We'll
Yeah.
definitely make note of it.
And sewer, I don't know, it would probably be problematic, but you may want to stick with because you have existing septic in there, right? For the-
No, we don't.
You don't, so you have to build a septic system
We had-
too?
There would be leach fields, most likely. Well, yes, there are leach fields. No, there are vault toilets. in
Right,
there.
yeah, they're vault toilets,
Vault
so
toilets and.
we should
pump
also
those.
do a cost comparison on connecting to our sewer system.
Okay. Yeah, we'd be interested to explore that, because ostensibly we build the leach field for those 2 new toilets, especially when they have to since they're flush.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great.
Again, not a winter, there's no winter problem, so.
Question about Waterville Campground.
Yeah. It's gonna
Um,
be an interesting change. Is that gonna be, that gonna create a different type of camper for us?
Well, I think we know intuitively and through some experience that you will tend to draw, depending on how the sites are reservable, and assuming that we probably put them on the reservation system. And that's more of a management issue down the road, but if we put them on our reservation system, they would definitely probably get filled up.
Is it a higher cost to camp in a place with water and sewer than it is for?
Yep, we haven't set rates for that.
Okay.
It's being done right now.
But is it, historically, has it been a significantly higher rate? No, just out of curiosity.
Yeah,
Is it like $10 for a regular
you know,
campsite and 25 for one?
it's probably $18 or $19 a night, maybe $20, and I'm not sure exactly, but it's around $20 a night right there per campsite. I could easily see that doubling.
Yeah.
But still well,
Yeah.
they're very competitive, most likely
Hmm.
with, what public opportunities there are. Yeah, we don't want to compete necessarily with the public opportunities, and the experience difference would be that these sites would have more screening, so, and more distance between the sites. So it's a different experience usually in a national forest campground. We want to preserve that. To that end, another component of that project for that campground is to do some overstory removal. And
What is that?
overstory, right now, there's a predominance of large pines in
Okay.
there that are towering over the campsites, blocking out a lot of light from coming into the campground. By removing that overstory and thinning some of the mid-story that's in there, will allow for better light penetration and promote some undergrowth that can then provide better screening between the sites. It also helps with some potential safety concerns. Those pines, every once in a while, shed some limbs, and they're very large. So we'd like to take care of that. And that same idea is going to be applied to Campton Campground further down the road.
What about the one further up, Triple I?
No, we haven't identified a need there to do anything.
Anything, so that's.
It's, group campground, and we tend to we're not proposing any projects there for this project.
So like Tom said, with these campground upgrades, it's a nice opportunity for us, as you guys know too, as recreation trends change and RVs get bigger, this is a nice opportunity for us to actually provide something that the public is looking for now versus the tent campers we found, 20 years ago that were so prominent.
One of the selling points here was obviously to be able to offer those campers the amenities that the town has to offer. So.
I think it's exciting.
Yeah. So the other area we should talk about is Smarts Brook. That area right now has obviously some very well used walking and hiking trails that come out of there. The mountain bike community has developed trails in that area, all surrounding what you normally think of Smarts Brook, also to include up on Sandwich Notch Road. And there's a network of largely user-created trails that take advantage of old woods roads, old skid trails, and everything else that are laced in throughout there. And they've developed trails using those existing networks. The forest has never recognized those trails as part of its system, but we recognized when we revised our forest management plan that at some point we would have to do that. We'd have to evaluate that system. So the time is right now. It's part of this project. We're doing a comprehensive assessment of all those trails to determine which ones are suitable for bringing into the forest trail system officially. As a result of all that, what we would do is acknowledge a formal trail system, make it part of our maintenance responsibilities in partnership with a Hemi Valley NEMBA, which is a New England Mountain Bike Association chapter, which is formed and has a keen interest in that area. And we'd be partnering with them for the upkeep and maintenance of the trails themselves. The system, some of the proposals have considered the possibility of a link between Smarts Brook all the way up to Drakes Brook, which is on 49 up here closer to the valley. And the more recent explorations up there and review of the drainages, we're kind of anticipating it to be a very difficult proposition, mostly due to some very significant drainages that are very flashy and they're wide, and just the potential expense of building bridges, drainages, easily in some places probably 80 to 100 foot bridges that would have to be put in. There's roughly 4 to 6 of them that would probably require some bridging. So that no decisions have been made on any of this, but I'll just state that's kind of where we're at with that piece of the proposal. The rest of the system is, like I said, of hiking, walking trails, and mountain bike trails. We have a partner. We've contracted with the International Mountain Bike Association, which is an international organization, and they have a trails solutions department that we've got a specialist, a trail specialist, under contract to help us design the system, help us figure out the connectivity of that system. And he'll be coming back up here. He's been up here once already, but he'll be coming back up here in July to do some more field work with our staff and determine what the actual layout should be, what it can design the trail system such that it can help accommodate dual use where we have walkers and bikers on the same trail. There's a lot of innovative ways that they can do that and help manage that. And we've stressed that we want to preserve that walking opportunity in there. So at least on the core network of trails. So you'll see, I think what we'll develop is a system that also includes a designated parking area to be determined. We don't know the exact location of that. It would be focused just on the mountain bikers, separate from the current trailhead that's out there. And also some amenities will be proposed for that trailhead and the trails themselves, including such things as trail signage, kiosks, possible picnic tables, in the parking area, and potentially room for a toilet facility. So those are strategies we can use to determine whether or not we want to do that down the road. Is adaptive management, where we determine how much use is occurring, and in the eventuality there's a significant amount of use where we don't want people, going in the woods to relieve themselves. It's one of those where we would then consider building a toilet. So these are all ideas right now that are being proposed. We have had public meetings and been a considerable turnout, public interest on this particular part of this project. We've heard from a lot of people those concerns about multiple use, not sacrificing the hiking trails for mountain bike users and vice versa. Concerns regarding the maintenance of the forest character in the existing trails that are out there. And concerns about the resources, the natural resources out there, erosion. They want to make sure we have sustainable design features, use best management practices in the design of those trails. Concerns about increased use, associated impacts with additional, dogs out there, possibly trash, additional erosion. These are all, management concerns that we would hopefully have the amenities to accommodate at certain points. We have received a lot of input related to the trail marking and mapping and trail etiquette rules of the road, and the potential issues associated with parking locations. So these are things that we're considering as we go forward with finalizing designs and plans.
When do you think this, if everything goes according to plan, when do you see this being built and implemented? Same thing with the campground.
So I was going to get into the timeline here in a little bit. So right now, since we are still in the EA part of it, we're looking at in February, March of 2019, actually having the EA hopefully out for the next 30-day public review comment period. So it would be sometime after that.
So you're talking 2021 here.
Probably,
Probably,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be, several years, but that's something that, is part of our process of getting that EA decision analysis out first.
Appreciate it.
Any questions on that?
You guys are very thorough. Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What about the long trail?
Yeah.
Can we just touch on that, please?
Sure. So I did meet with Dan Newton and Ryan Harvey last week about the long trail. He kind of walked me through where he's proposing. I think one of the key things that, a couple points, is that the proposal includes approximately, we didn't have definitive information on this, but I estimated with them 5 to 7 miles of new hiking trail construction. The forest plan that we're operating under right now was signed in 2005, limits new non-motorized trail construction to no more than 25 miles for the entire life of the plan. So we're talking 5 to 7 miles just in this project. The focus right now in our national direction from the top down is in 2 primary areas, and that is timber management and fire and fuels reduction. In thinking about the national forest system nationwide, those are the priorities. So a lot of funding and focus and prioritization of our project work goes to those. It's not lining up for recreation right now per se. Having said that, within our own forest, the appetite in keeping with our forest plan direction and the real elephant in the room is the 1,200 miles of hiking trails that we already have, trails on the forest, and the sad shape that a lot of those are in. Some of these storm events, we still have jackstraw trails up there that are massive amounts of blowdown. that still are waiting to be cleared. The priority for something like this to materialize right now in this environment is very low.
Okay.
And I think it's something down, we talked about possible opportunities to cut out some of the new trail construction that's proposed, shorten the overall length possibly, or look elsewhere, connecting existing trail. But the conclusion I think that they walked away with was that it's probably not right now for consideration.
It is what it is.
Thank you.
I have another question, if it's not too inappropriate. What about Triple I Road?
Regarding,
What are they gonna do with it?
It's getting worse and worse. And it's number one on our hazard mitigation plan. And we only have one way in and out of the valley right now. And that's not a good thing.
yeah, so my thoughts on that come from, we have our construction and maintenance crew. And as Tom alluded, as you guys know, some of the storms we had last year, our forest roads got hammered across the forest. So we have the limited time and resources for actually repair. So they were out there all last week doing some repair on the larger issues that were out there just so we could get the open road for the summer. As far as long-term, I would say if there's, and I believe you and we talked about this last time too, is I think it would be great for us to have a meeting where we can actually talk more specifics about what it is that you guys would be interested in having us consider, and having some more detailed conversations that I could talk to our engineering group about as well.
Maybe have Jim do a walkthrough. Well, you don't even need a walkthrough, it's so obvious, I think. Yeah, all right, great.
I mean, there have been times when we said, wouldn't it be better just to take it back to dirt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even try to keep it paved, because the dirt sections of that road were actually not that bad.
I think we've actually had some hallway conversations about that ourselves. Yeah. So,
Thanks.
well, thank you for your time.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'll just leave with you guys kind of like the town reports that you guys do every year. We've got our forest annual review report that I'll leave for you guys to peruse on what we did last year.
Very good.
Thank you.
very much.
Appreciate your guys'
Appreciate
time.
it.
Thank you.
Great, all right, let's move ahead, and what we're gonna do is, Chris, why don't we deal with you, because we have you for a few minutes.
Okay.
Beeper goes off.
All right. So,
I know.
I've been working in public safety. We've been doing a lot of training,
See you.
with firearms, been to a few conferences. There's been some specialized training. The Warriors are in town this weekend. They start tomorrow night. They're setting up now. They leave Saturday morning, I believe. Gordon Research is coming in now. And we're kind of getting into full summer activities. They've started construction on Cascade Ridge for the single home up there. Town. And with the timing of this Forest Service presentation is kind of uncanny, because the mountain came to me with some plans to upgrade some of their trails, and that's why Dave Dean is here to answer any questions. Does everybody know Dave?
Yeah.
He's a good conduit. I found him to be a good conduit for the mountain. So most of these, if you see equipment out in the woods, it's what they're doing. They're upgrading trails that currently exist right now, mostly in the Nelson Path Woods area. So did you have those?
I did. That's some rushes there. What's left? Yeah. Is
Yeah,
this with a focus of trying to get it back into sleigh rides or something next year?
I think it's driven more by resort boards,
Okay,
and that they're getting bicycles off the road.
okay.
So Dave's point was that all of these areas are being used currently for there's no change of use. It's making it a better situation to get more people out there and off the road. So these are progressive. They're progressive sheets. basically deal with the Nelson Path area. There's another idea for Snows Mountain, but that involves the Forest Service, so that's years away. Maybe. But the lower side, they want to do, make some trails there for bikes. And the only issue I saw with this was, is it 3? Well, 3 area, they wanted to do it. They're already running resort boards down there. They wanted to upgrade it, and I told them there might be a big fence across the.
You understand why it will be.
So, Dave, are there any questions?
Yeah. Dave, I appreciate what you're doing here. I like the idea, but the thing that we've been having a major league disconnect with the mountain on is the staff in the bicycle shops and the signage in the bicycle shops. I'm teaching and trying to instruct some of our guests who aren't used to being in this kind of environment onto how to be on bicycles in the roads here. You know, how to not be 20 abreast, how to stay either all on the sidewalk or all not on the sidewalk, whichever way we're going with it. And I think a lot of that stems from people when they get the bike need to be instructed on what the rules are and what's expected and how things go, as opposed to them all just flying out of the shop. So I appreciate this. I think one of the keys to this is going to be excellent signage, you know, to kind of get these people going in and taking advantage of this stuff. I think this is perfect. I think we need more of this. I think this is to take the center of town and use as a hub to get people walking and biking and get them off the roads or on the roads in an orderly fashion. So whatever we can do, as far as I'm concerned, to help you would be great. But I just want to make sure you guys are following up with that initial contact with the guest to make sure they know what we're doing too.
Yeah, great, thank you. I'll take that comment to the shop.
Yeah.
And,
We've sent that
reinforce the
comment for
signage.
many years.
There is no schedule for this, just wanted to throw it out there, this is what we're thinking, but I did identify the going order. And alluded to the pieces at Snows. We're moving, not as fast as we want to, as far as developing, you know, it's already there, we just want to freshen it up. But, so Snows is moving, but I'm with you 100% that the flat trails right around town.
I think the Nelson
Great.
Path
They're
there,
already
to
there.
get people off the road to cut that corner.
Yeah.
Because it just happens on the hour when the people go out on their bikes or when they come back. And it's just,
They're very
and luckily no one's been hurt severely. You know, we were very fortunate people observed this speed limits here and a lot of things. that
For the
could
most
happen. For the most, except in front of the realty office.
And Jim put a new sign up last week too.
And what was that sign, Joe?
A 25-mile-an-hour sign coming out of Village Road.
Oh, when you make the right
Yeah,
off the valley.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
So no schedule, but just a heads up, and if we do fire up some equipment and get some.
And this is a mutual agreement with WCI as well, so it's not, you know, it's.
Great. Well, thanks for coming in, Dave.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
All right. So is that it for you, Chris?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Good staff, good everything going on.
Everything's
Everything's together.
going
Fishing derby.
Yeah, the fishing derby was a great success, almost 150.
What do we use?
Nice.
It's usually around 120, 115, 120, so.
Segue that into Brooke.
Oh,
Are
right,
you
that
all
was
done
probably
with
your
this?
piece.
Yeah.
Well, you guys had the microphone.
Yeah. Dave had his radio voice with him.
Yeah, that's
So.
good at that.
Yeah, all right.
So the fishing derby was awesome. We had 141 is sort of the unofficial count, and we have gone between 120, 115, up to 150. So this is the biggest in a couple of years. So that's great. It was awesome weather. At first, people weren't catching fish. We're getting kind of nervous, getting ready to, answer to angry parents. But then everyone started catching fish, so that was good. It's such an awesome event, and
I don't instruct the fish to get caught.
We're gonna have to get scuba divers
To
in.
put the fish on the hook.
Jay was worried that there were so many salamanders. We had seen so many salamanders in the pond a couple days before, and
So
he
the
was
fish
worried
were
that they were all full. Yeah. Of course, I can say that now, but we were kind of nervous.
You weren't here for the great years of pulling all the leeches out.
Well, no, I wasn't, but I've heard. But no, it was really awesome, and it makes me so proud to be a part of that event and also this town. That event is just really awesome. So much support from community members and organizations and people coming out of woodwork to come to it. So it's just phenomenal. The boats open that day. The pedal boats were a huge hit. Nice new shiny pedal boats. Everyone wanted to rent those. We didn't have an awesome opening weekend because of the weather. I mean, that's just, but we did have, there were boat rentals, just not maybe our best. The garden beds right now everyone's sort of getting to work on the garden beds. And those are, I think, looking pretty good. We have our new dock scheduled to be put in on June 11th. So that will be exciting and make it a little bit easier for the boat staff. And our new seasonal maintenance person was hired, David LaRue, and he's doing great. He has been doing Packard Field and also the beach and a lot of other little maintenance things for us.
What's his background?
His background, let's see, was it the Army? Was he in the Army? He was a helicopter mechanic.
Aviation.
He does tree work. He's really got kind of jack of all trades.
Property management.
Really personable and kind of a go-getter, getting things done. He's getting along well with the rest of the DPW. We do have one thing at hand right now is his transportation to and fro. We he works on, let's see, Wednesdays to Sundays. So we need some sort of vehicle for him to get around in. Mark and I and Jim have talked about this. We don't want it to be a golf cart or something that appears to be a golf cart. But we would like to have something for him to be able to drive from the bay here to his places of work. So we're looking at a Kubota right now. See, we're looking at
How about it? Dave, you got any extra four-wheelers?
Resort board.
Yeah, resort board.
So he needs something that will carry, the stuff that he needs to use. We originally asked public safety if their Kubota would be available, but they obviously cannot give that to us for a seasonal maintenance person. So we are suggesting we purchase a new or used Kubota for this purpose.
Have some.
Well, Jim just pulled this up. That's a used one and told me this is the price on new ones.
About 7,000 to 8,000 for the used Kubota. Probably a new Gator, which is the 6-wheel John Deere type of vehicle, runs probably 11 to 13. So I don't think we need a new vehicle at this point. We can that's only one of, we haven't started looking around because we don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it unless.
How old is our public safety Kubota?
Oh, 5?
Yeah, it's about 13 years old.
All right, not to throw a question mark into our coffers here, but would it be worth looking at a new public safety Kubota and using this other one?
Absolutely.
That is a preferred approach to it.
You knew you were gonna sucker me in on this by proving it this way.
No,
But didn't even think of that, frankly.
No, I've talked to Chris and Dave about it, so.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Oh.
so we
first
do
time.
have some thoughts about replacing the Kubota with something that would be better for trail.
Too bad the Humvee's gone.
Well,
We could get another Humvee, but you don't want us to, so.
and we're not, it's not that we don't play well with others, but
No, I
it
understand
needs
your
to
point.
be ready to go.
But I
It's got the
understand your
lights
point,
in
but
it.
let's look into maybe we can get something for you guys that will give, that's given us what, almost 15 years or
Yeah.
so?
And it's still usable, it's still a
Yeah.
good vehicle, we just can't commit it to.
I know, but I would rather have a vehicle that we've maintained for 15 years
Okay.
than buying something from a,
Okay.
from those fast talking used Kubota salesmen.
Yes, was there.
What are you, kid? I got the Kubota of your dreams. The old lady only drove to church through the woods
Right, exactly.
in the summer.
Yes, in the summer. Yeah, we'll definitely look at that and have something. We do want to try to get this, so I'll be emailing you information about what we're looking at, because we would like to try to
Right.
get this going.
You're gonna raise your revenues to cover the cost to this new Kubota house?
No, I think it will be the contingency fund, maybe.
No. You are gonna raise your revenues.
Say
to
yes.
pay for
Yes,
Bob's
just say
Kubota.
Yes,
Say
yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
Say yes.
Right.
It's gonna be okay. Say yes. Yeah, we'll work it out, and I'll work out the funding, but I will be emailing you rather than let it sit for the 2 weeks. I'd like to just get you in.
Well, let's get some information. We have to figure the cost of gas and where that's gonna get allocated and, you know, the revenue, how it's gonna support itself.
Yep.
That's what we pay
We'll
for.
work it out. Okay.
And Chris, you just said that you had some other thoughts about something that would be more useful on the trails.
No, it was, we're at a point now where we need something because we don't have the Humvee anymore.
It
I was
just is
just-
more four-wheel drive capable.
Right, I was just explaining why we weren't playing well in the sandbox and sharing is because we need it ready to go at all times. And it wasn't the type of vehicle, it was the Kubota we have now.
Okay, good.
So, in response to the revenue piece, this is the way I view it, is that this whole parks person that you allocated the money to is really for the beautification of town. So I really think there's a huge underlying potential to, have people be excited about the cleanliness and how it looks good. I really believe in that, and I hope that we can show you that after this summer, that it's going to make a difference.
And
So I
then-
do think that will have an impact ultimately, but more specifically, this year, we are gonna bypass our loads of sand, so that will save a few $1,000s.
There you go.
Because of the dam project going on, Jim doesn't, there's any reason to go put more sand that they're gonna have to remove
Yeah.
anyway for the project, so we will
And
see.
maybe it'll leave some extra when they're done.
So, anyway, that's all I have, unless you have any other questions.
Awesome. Summer camp pre-enrollments,
Yeah, we have a lot of weeks, sold out.
wow.
Yeah.
Is there a way to letting our homeowners and guests, especially property owners, to know that you're selling out quickly so they can be warned so they don't show up and go, what do you mean?
Yeah, every week, every
Yeah.
Thursday, a newsletter goes out from the rec department updating people on what's going on in the rec department. And part of that is, every week is, our camps are,
Yeah. Okay,
and also the early bird rate special ends on Friday. So there's a lot of communication going on. So I don't think we can guarantee
Yeah.
it, but we're trying.
perfect. Great. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Fun with Jim.
Just trying to think of something to ask for. No,
You just
You
got
got a
half, you
brand new toy coming.
just got half a used Kubota.
That's
right.
Yeah, you did.
Another couple of loads of salt and we'll have it done.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, things are growing, so we're mowing. We've mowed Package twice already. We're caught up pretty much on a lot of the road work. We're working on a couple of different problems that came up over the last couple of years with actually building head walls for a couple of culverts, problematic culverts in town. Pressure treated wood, we got those in today. And
Could you define a head wall for me?
a head wall is, well, it's basically something that sits over the top of the culvert and keeps the roadside from going down on top of it.
So this is under the asphalt?
No, it's in the shoulder. Or the embankment. You know how, if you go up Jennings Peak Road and on the right across from Jennings driveway there, the shared driveway, it's steep there, so we put one in there. So we're doing a few things like that. We got a couple of projects going. We also, I don't know if you've had a chance to get down behind Mountain Brook and look, we bladed a section out down there across the small pedestrian bridge, the footbridge. So we did that, and we've got a couple other projects in the works. Library will keep us busy for a day, and we're gonna tackle the gazebo going up Snows Mountain. The gazebo is fine, but we need to clean out some stuff there, so.
What about the Greeley Hill washout?
Greeley,
Snows Mountain Road, excuse me.
Snows Mountain Road?
Yeah.
That's all patched, not with pavement.
Okay.
That's gonna be a problem a little bit because there's so much slop that came out of there from that washout.
Yeah.
I mean, from the
Yeah.
water main break. I had to fill it all with sand. That was the only material that wasn't frozen. So it's full of sand. So we've got some decent gravels in there, and we'll just let traffic kind of let it settle and just keep it graded and add more as we can. And then at some point in time, we'll try and patch it.
Okay, what about that flaw over at Cascade Ridge Road on the curve where the underside of the waterway?
That's all done.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's all
It
been,
hasn't been paved yet.
yeah. And probably, we'll see how that
Are you
holds
thinking
up.
of using Brian to do that while they're here doing these projects?
No, that would be a hand crew.
Okay, but while they're here.
I mean, what that would entail is cutting out sections of the roadway.
Yeah.
Thin sections, and then bringing in a few tons here and there and packing it in. It's not gonna be perfect, but other than that, we've got a lot of stuff to do. We're busy.
Mark, anything for Jim?
No.
Rich? No, thank you. Thank you. I forgot to ask anything for Brooke. All right. Well, great. Thanks for our department heads. While we're here, let's go over some stuff with Jim, wastewater treatment remaining 2018 capital project. It's on my list. You're not.
Well, there's
Somebody put it on the list.
we discussed a new pump, and then
What are these two new pumps that are?
those are chemical feeds.
Have we discussed those before?
Yes.
Yes.
We have.
Was I here?
Yes.
Was I awake?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But we budgeted for the replacement of the two chemical feed pumps and the replacement of the complete HVAC system.
Yeah.
So the chemical feed pumps came in at about half of what we were expecting. So Greg can replace both of the chemical feed pumps that we use for between $7,000 and $8,000.
Okay. And these are new pumps?
These are new pumps. And then we will take the best of the two that we take out,
Put it on a shelf.
and we will get it refurbished and put it on the shelf as our emergency backup. So I would highly recommend that we go with this quote that we have here from Watson Marlowe.
Any question on the Watson Marlowe quote? Nope. Would anyone like to make a proposal to accept the bid by someone? And is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we've done that one.
Okay, and then from TML Mechanical.
Question before this. Yeah. How, was this put out for public bid?
Greg, yes, this part, we did not put a written quote out, but Greg went to heating contractors and had them come in, look at the job. TML is the only firm that he got to respond to him. And I can find out if, what the name of the other ones were. I don't know.
I think just going forward, we just have to stay on top of, the process. Let's throw the ad in whether someone applies or not.
Okay.
We have to do that. I think we owe that to our town people.
Okay.
All right.
We will do that.
All right. I have problems.
So this is to replace the unit and all of the piping.
Right. And what are the approximate costs for these exclusions?
For the exclusion.
You get down to the end of this proposal, it says exclusions, all line voltage, power, or wiring to be done by others.
Yeah.
All gable, like a gable wall opening is required, to be done by others.
I do not have those numbers yet. This one will, the electrical obviously will be our electrician at the plant. Right?
That's right. Wenzel.
Wenzel will be doing that. And as far as the work with Al Joyce.
Yeah.
How extensive is that, Jim? We're cutting into a brand new building, is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, no, not.
Not brand new building, but it's not that bad of a job. It's not as big a job as it sounds. It's pretty easy.
So
What's the total amount that we allocated for this job?
For,
No.
we
The whole
had,
project.
for the whole project,
Yeah.
95,000 for these two
These
pieces.
two pieces.
We've already used the 35,000, which was for the aeration system.
So this is gonna put us over budget.
Oh, no,
Oh,
I don't
If
think
you
so.
use 35 and you get 64, you're at 100. We budgeted 95, and we still have the rest of this work to do.
We used 8,000 for this, so we have a remainder of 77,000.
You just said
You
we
just
used
told me you had 35,000.
No, we had 130,000 total approved by town meeting. We used 35,000, which was set aside for the
Okay, to
aeration
bring
system.
on top
That
of,
brings it down to
Okay.
95.
all right, missed that. We both
Sorry,
missed that.
I'm sorry. And
We both
then,
missed it, there had to be something
There-
wrong with
there
the
no, sorry,
All
so,
right, you probably
so
missed it too. didn't you?
we used 8,000 for the chemical feed pumps. That leaves us with a remainder of 87. Right. And so we've got 65 for this equipment and
Yeah.
labor to install the heating. That leaves us with 22 remaining.
And is
for
this,
the
can
rest.
this work be done for
Oh, yes.
22 or less?
I don't think.
Well, how much less? Is this like a $3,000 job or is this a $10,000?
The carpentry work will be around 3,000 or 4,000,
Yeah.
and the electrical work shouldn't be more than a couple thousand
Right.
at the most.
I can't imagine, because I'm not foreseeing that he's gonna have to run all new electrical.
No,
Well,
So
that's
it's
the way
usually-
we operate, it's always,
it's
we're not
usually
just seeing
existing.
and come in and go. It's like we put in the generators, oh, the generators are great, but we don't have any service accounts for them now. All right, so we're looking here at under $10,000 for these exclusions. All right, so you will notify us if it becomes over $10,000?
yes.
Does that work for you, Margaret? Work for you, Rich? Yeah. Okay, great. So I will make a motion to accept this proposal, to remove the existing failed LP gas direct fire makeup air unit. How old was that unit when it failed?
40 years old.
Okay.
It's original equipment,
It's original equipment
All right.
to the plant.
good
All right.
mileage.
No, we've been having things fail fairly quickly recently.
Well, that's because we
Things
didn't
have been
replace
replaced for
anything
40
for 40 years.
No, this is 40 years. I'm talking about the pump that we had.
Oh,
the generator.
the generator that
came
died
on,
the first
it
time
just
it
looked at
used?
us and went, what?
15 minutes.
Yeah,
Nope.
it was in service for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes stuff happens.
All right, so you accept this proposal from TML Mechanicals and to also be notified if the exclusions cost over $10,000. Is there a second to that?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye, all right. All right, well 3 and 4 updates.
Well, 3, Emery and Garrett groundwater will be here in the next 2 weeks to finish the design work for the improvements around well 3. We should be able to get it, once they have those plans done, we'll have about a 3 to 4 week bidding process to get that work out to bid. So I would say that work probably in August or September
Right.
is still on track to do that. They did not say that they've had any change of heart in anything that they're recommending to us, but the first thing we're gonna do is the bacteria tests
Yes.
on the water.
So we haven't done one in a while. have
We have not done one in a while. We're waiting for them to get out here.
Can we do one ourselves?
Yes.
Why don't we do one? Just for the hell of it. whole thing has been funny.
Funny.
So it would just be interesting to see,
Yeah.
or maybe it's gone up dramatically and maybe we should reassess what they do before they start.
And we'll probably do a test well bacteria check as well in the house.
Honestly, if we could have the results of that before the next meeting, that would be great.
And until this week, there was a natural block on both ends of that piece.
That's
so
right, 'cause the
people couldn't
trees are
go there.
Oh, yes, it's gone now.
I know.
Great, so,
Okay.
well, and well for
So
second
well
line.
4 is back online. It worked very well over the holiday weekend, so.
All right,
no
let's talk about the Valley Inn sign request.
Yeah, you have a,
I'm gonna defer to Rich.
You
you
are.
have
I
a
certainly
sign, you have a
This is
sign
Valiant.
permit.
Yes, a new one.
This
No,
is
the Valiant, not the,
Valiant,
not the
not the
box.
silver
Yeah.
box.
So you have a replacement of the old sign.
Right.
It
John, are
is,
you here for that?
I wish I was.
so,
You got something else for us coming up?
well,
Well, we'll get to you in a minute.
So if you notice on the last page of their request, they're taking out the change portion of the sign.
Right.
So
yeah,
that
main
will
part.
not be replaced.
Okay.
And it will only be this top rectangle
Mhm.
at, by my calculations, approximately the same size as the old one, and it's externally lit. And so those two things, if you don't have a problem with the color, which I think this circle is greenish color in their proposal. It's gonna be a fairly simple sign,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so,
I
and
think
it's
it's,
externally lit, so there's no issues with our sign.
does she have the dimensions of that? on there?
It's
Yeah.
48 by 30, and
Yeah,
it's
fairly-
60 feet total to the top of the sign from ground level.
Oh,
5 feet,
60,
5 feet, 6 feet, sorry.
60
No,
inches.
5 feet,
Yeah,
5 feet, okay.
6 feet.
5 feet, 60
5 feet.
inches. Stop.
So you said 60 feet, I think.
No, 60 inches, sorry, 5 feet,
5 feet high.
yes. Okay, so there's nothing we can see in the sign
That's-
permit
I like
regulations.
I like how simple it is.
So that's why our recommendation is to approve
Go
it.
with it.
Okay,
I so move.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. All right, review and sign paperwork for capital bonds.
Before you do that, can you sign that by approval?
All right,
Alright. Judy, you got the paperwork? So the bonds were sold and,
we got 2.95.
2.93 was our TIC, so,
You want to sign that now?
sign, there's a lot of signing here, so. you-
All of us have to sign?
All of you
I will do
have,
that in a minute.
okay.
Let's go to privilege of the floor. Don, do you have something for us?
Well, two things. Well, one thing, I guess. I just was a little bit confused.
Identify
about-
yourself on.
Oh, yeah, John Racine, if it helps, planning board member. I was a little confused on the signs, the new ruling on signs in town. I noticed there's been some more signs put up, and it has not crossed the planning board that I know of. And just wondering what the select board's thoughts are on that.
Well, do all signs have to go to the planning board? I didn't think they did.
Do you need permits?
Yes.
And has any permits come through for these new signs?
Which signs?
Which signs?
Valley Run Property Service.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. So none of them really have to go through the planning board. And did that sign have to match the old sign?
no,
No.
No,
And why not?
it meets the
it meets the
current
sign requirements.
guidelines.
It's not an artificially illuminated sign or a
Got
backlit
it.
sign.
Understood. Okay, just wanted to clear that
Yeah.
thought up in my head because I wanted to get it right.
Okay,
That's pretty much it. Thank you.
all right, well, thank you. All right. Any board concerns of directives? Nope, we have a correspondence on the sprinkler system saying it's going along.
Yep,
Well-
sprinkler system, did you inspect that?
I did. Did you get that invoice yet?
I did not.
That'll be interesting. Because
they
as,
did it
as
with a
Rory
lot
says, it,
Yeah.
it should be significantly lower than that.
Good.
It should be, just looking at what they did.
Okay. But did they meet all of your requirements?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything's good to go. All right.
And speaking of what, there's some old pipe, I don't know if you can use it. It's pretty rugged out behind the ice arena.
Do they need it moved?
No one's asked, but I think they need it. It's there.
All right, we'll take a look at it.
Anything else?
Not that I have, so I think, would someone like to make the motion to go into non-public at
I'll make the
4:12?
motion to go into non-public at 4
Thank you all.
p.m.
I will second that motion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, while we're going to non-public, let's sign.